All right. So we need to talk about sort of one last topic, and that's allergies. So why are we going to talk about allergies when we are in the immune system? These should have been included with the immune system. So what's the connection? Anybody know? Without looking up there? Allergies are your immune. So when a person is allergic to something, it's their immune system that causes the symptoms of allergies. So allergies are when our own immune system is having an immune response to something that's not actually a pathogen. So our immune response is meant to fight off against viruses and bacteria and parasitic worms and things that can be harmful to us. But in certain people, in certain situations, their immune system might kick in against something that actually is harmless. Something that's environmental, something they ingested or inhaled or came into contact with their skin. And their immune system, for some reason, sort of recognizes that as a pathogen and kicks in the immune response. And the immune response has side effects. We'll talk about some of those. So when a person is allergic to something, so usually about half, when I take a poll, how many people are allergic to something, whether it's a seasonal allergy, a food allergy? I'm allergic to like pollen and cats. Okay, so yeah, about half of us probably. Half of us, for some reason, our immune system produce antibodies against certain things, cat hair, or a protein on peanuts, or some pollen from a tree. And we are allergic to those things. So antibodies can form for some reason when we are first exposed to some of those things. And so when we are re-exposed to those allergens, and our immune system recognizes the antigens on these allergens, it starts the immune response. And so the immune response is pretty complicated. We're going to watch a video in a few minutes and it'll sort of walk you through sort of how the immune response works. But part of the immune response is certain cells, mast cells, release chemicals into the body which are inflammatory agents. They cause generally swelling, dilation of the blood vessels. The blood vessels become more permeable. Smooth muscle tissue contracts. There's swelling. And so all of these responses lead to what we sort of think of as having an allergy attack. Okay? It could cause a runny nose, sneezing, okay? Tearing eyes, things becoming more difficult to breathe. And one of there's lots of chemicals that are released by the mast cells that do many of these things. One of the most important ones is histamine. And you may have heard of this before. Does anyone know has anyone heard of histamines? Or know why?
Histamine is the thing that
Okay. And what are antihistamines? You never heard of those? Yeah, well, they inhibit not so much the production, but the effects of histamine. And the common medications that you're probably familiar with, allergy medications, Zyrtec, Benadryl, these medications are antihistamines. They basically counteract the effects of this chemical released by our immune system. In extreme cases, and an extreme allergy that you sometimes hear about with like maybe bee stings sometimes, or nut allergies, when a person is exposed to some of these, they have a very severe reaction, and it can lead to a very, very dangerous health situation. It's very difficult to breathe. One of the treatments for that, in a severe allergic reaction, people that have a severe allergy might carry with them or have access to an EpiPen. And an EpiPen is basically an injectable, an auto-inject version of epinephrine. The hormone epinephrine, one of its effects in the body is to basically neutralize the effects of the release of histamine. So an EpiPen, a person can get injected with epinephrine that could open up their airways and reduce the symptoms of a severe allergy attack or anaphylactic shock, as it's called. And so the overall way that these allergies develop is initially our immune system cells come into contact with the allergen. And for some reason, some people, this process starts. B cells pick up that allergen and produce antibodies against it. Those antibodies attach to special cells called mast cells. And then, when that allergen is encountered again, it binds with those antibodies on these mast cells, and it prompts them to release histamines and all these other chemicals that lead to the immune response. Okay? Some of us don't have these. These allergies don't develop. There's some research shows, like if you had a cat in your house, for example, from the time you were an infant, you're less likely to develop allergies to cats. Or anyone ever go for allergy shots? No? So allergy shots are sort of, they work for some things, not for others. They work in some people, not others. My oldest daughter, we used to take her, she doesn't have really severe allergies, but she was pretty consistently had sort of environmental allergies. So we took her for a while. And what they do with allergy shots usually is they give you, so they first test you. I never had allergy tests where they prick you with a million different things. They basically scratch your skin with a tiny bit of many different allergens, and then they look at all of those spots and they see which ones swell up, which ones induce an allergic response, and then they tell you, oh, you're allergic to pollen, you're allergic to cat hair and so forth. So they can figure that out, and they make sort of a mixture of these things you're allergic to, and then they dilute it down so that there's very, very tiny quantity of the allergen. And then you go to the doctor once a week or twice a week sometimes, and they inject on your skin just a small amount of the allergen. And they watch and make sure you don't have a severe reaction, and you go home. And you go back another day. And you go back the next week, and the next week. It takes years sometimes of going to the doctor for every week, or it spreads out over time, and they increase the amount of the allergen over time, gradually exposing you to more and more of it. And in some people, basically their allergies go away for certain things. Other people, it doesn't work. To bees?
Yeah.
And did it help?
Yeah, using the
Oh yeah. So it can work, and some people, like I said, some people does, some people doesn't. It's really a pain. I mean, when my daughter was 13 or 14, I would take her 2 times a week to the doctor and then do all this stuff. So, but yeah, it can work. So it's one way people are treated for allergies. All right. Any other questions about allergies?